Thank you. We'll now begin with questions. In December, Congress established the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant Program to support live entertainment venues that have sat empty since the start of the pandemic, over a year for many. While many other businesses were able to adjust their operation to at least adapt to the new normal, the live events industry was forced to shutter almost completely. My district, which includes the north side of Chicago, among other areas, has more live performances venues than almost any other congressional district. We're looking forward to seeing shows at the Metro and the Vic and so forth again. But many of those businesses were hanging on a thread and anxiously waiting for the grants to be awarded. Tell us a little bit about what those challenges were getting that stood up and what caused the delays in the disbursement of funds.
Thank you. Yes, we've seen that some specific industries were not able to access PPP in the same way, as many of them were closed, first to close and probably last to fully reopen, like shuttered venues across the country. And as I mentioned in my opening, we've seen over 13,000 applications submitted. Of that, 12,000 were under 50 employees or less. So we're also talking about smaller entities as well. So these grants to recover on revenue are really critical for them. The SBA did work to deploy this as soon as possible. Obviously, when this was a very complex program that we had to stand up with multiple different entities, from producers to stage venues, folks in the control of the building and those not of those operators. So very unique eligibility criteria for each type of entity, but we worked closely with industry to make sure that we could stand this up in a way that was navigable for them. But as a result of the complex eligibility, it has been a little bit longer to implement, and we experienced some technology issues when we first launched nationally, without any pilot. So I do, I think what's key about this program is that we have been getting funds out this week. Finally, it's not soon enough, and we are working diligently to try to process these as soon as possible.
Is there still issues with the processing or going through this or technology, or is it now just catching up?
It's a combination as we continue now to work to the important part of actually reviewing eligibility and disbursement. We're still implementing, and so, but those are starting to roll out. It was just a longer, more complex build. One thing to keep in mind is that we do use the rule of two to make sure that we have strong controls in place on this program. And so there is a manual review as well because of the complexity of this program. I mean, there's very prescriptive nature of this. For example, we have applicants having to prove that they have a lighting rig as an example. And so, because of that, that's taking a little bit longer for review, but where our team is pushing these out as quickly as possible now moving forward. And we'll continue to work with our vendors on the technology to continue to streamline as quickly as we can.
Sure, we know the need is great in the industry, yet the cumulative amount requested so far is below what was anticipated. Do you have any sense of understanding why the demand wasn't as high as we thought it would be?
We have seen all of the different priority groups apply in the beginning at the outset, and so we're not not sure. We're not hearing anything specific from the industry in terms of people's inability to access the program. We still continue to get new applications submitted every day. However, we know that there's a supplemental at the end, and the industry continues to promote and make sure that people are aware of this program.
Very good, Mr. Womack.
Thank you. In that COVID package in March, $29 billion for the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. You got double the amount of